This is The Scoop for Wednesday.
I'm Megan Bowman with the WMNF News headlines. Republican State Senator Randy Fine filed a bill yesterday that would not only stop undocumented students from getting in-state tuition, but also from attending some public universities in the state. The move by the Brevard lawmaker comes a day after Governor Ron DeSantis called a special session of the Florida legislature to discuss immigration reform under the Trump administration. Fine says that if his bill passes, undocumented students would be kept out of larger, more competitive universities in Florida, like the University of Central Florida.
Florida's highly competitive colleges and universities, aka those that cannot serve everyone who wishes to go to them, they no longer can accept illegal immigrants to attend at all and must exclusively be for Americans, Floridians, or people from other countries who apply and are able to go legally.
A special session to address immigration reform is slated to begin January 27th, despite legislators pushing back on the idea and calling it, quote, premature and irresponsible. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service says the Florida manatee should remain a threatened species. WMNF's Chris Young reports it goes against environmental activists' requests to make the sea mammal endangered.
The federal agency proposed upgrading the Antillean manatee's status to endangered. However, the Florida manatee would remain threatened. The two manatee species were downlisted from endangered in 2017. Billy Brooks is a fish and wildlife biologist with the Fish and Wildlife Service.
In our analysis, not only we look at the threats, but we are also looking at all the conservation that's being implemented.
FWS projects a low chance of extinction for the Florida manatee in the next 150 years. But the Center for Biological Diversity's Reagan Whitlock says the agency's projections are not enough for the sea mammal.
It needs these protections, and the Fish and Wildlife Service has failed them.
The endangered label could result in more conservation opportunities for the species. Whitlock says even with the Antillean manatee reclassification, there's still a threat of mortality for the Florida manatee. The deadline for public comment on this proposal is March 17th. Comments can be sent via regulations.gov. Chris Young, WMNF News.
Meanwhile, a polar vortex that's brought ice and snow to much of the country has dealt a blow to the Sunshine State and its manatee population. The sea mammals have been forced to seek warmer waters as coastal temperatures drop. The warm water outflows of about a dozen power plants around the state are a popular destination for them besides inland natural springs. Manatees have been attracted to the warm water discharges for decades and follow a watery travel route that mother manatees have taught to manatee calves. Public viewing areas are located near power plants in Riviera Beach, Fort Myers, and Apollo Beach. A rising trend in Florida's property insurance market has some experts concerned, with recent data showing 1 out of 5 homeowners in the state are not insured at all. Central Florida Public Media's Lillian Hernandez Caraballo has more on the story.
The trend is at an all-time high, with data from LendingTree showing that about 20% of Florida homeowners are opting out of insuring their homes. This recent study was done by LendingTree's Value Penguin, a research site. Experts say this is a direct result of the state's property insurance crisis and are calling on insurers to the market for lower premiums.
That was Lillian Hernandez Caraballo. She's a Report for America Corps member. Insurance premiums for flood insurance policyholders in Fort Myers will be steeply discounted later this year. After eking by over the years with a 9 score on FEMA's community rating system, the lowest rating that still allows for a modest discount, the city was notified recently that its rating was upgrading, and now policyholders can get 20% discounts beginning October. With wind and auto insurance soaring over the last few years, the discount will be a much-needed blessing for the some 6,000 policyholders in the city of Fort Myers. Some 2,300 communities across the country participate in the voluntary Federal Emergency Management Agency's community rating system. The system recognizes and encourages best practices to mitigate future flood claims. The National Weather Service says to expect clouds today with a high reaching 66. Your low tonight is around 51. Expect similar conditions tomorrow. I'm Megan Bowman with the WMNF News headlines on the WMNF app and WMNF.org.
This is The Scoop, recorded at WMNF Tampa.